Okay, yeah, I can see I'm online. Uh, Good afternoon, dear colleagues, dear organizers and webinar presenters of STEM online course. I'm very glad to welcome you on my webinar, and I thank you for joining us to listen to it. Just one little second, yeah, and I will start. My name is Ivanka Karabits. I'm from Ukraine, Kiev, and just a minute, like that, it will be better. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine, and I'm coordinator of international projects at the international competition for young pianists in memory of Vladimir Horowitz. I also work in Reinhold Glier Kiev Institute of Music, and I'm presenter of the program Classics on Aristocrats on Ukrainian smart digital radio station Aristocrats FM. Before I start, I want to thank the European Union of Music Competitions for Youth that they proposed my candidature for participating in this interesting project, which already gave me a lot of new and interesting experience. I thank you very much. I also want to thank Cyprus Center for Research and Study of Music to Avra Pieridou and Nikos Kotelos, for being so nice and patient during the preparatory period. Thank you so much. And of course, I also want to thank Aristocrats FM team, Horowitz competition team, Glier Institute of Music, and my friends who supported me during this period. Let's go to the presentation. And you can see the first slide, I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't see myself. So the topic of my webinar is ways to promote the classical music on the platform of Ukrainian digital radio station Aristocrats FM in the program Classics on Aristocrats. And let us start from the webinar structure and main points which we will move on today. So first of all, I want to introduce you Aristocrats FM and its creators, and then we will move to the area of the program Classics and Aristocrats, and I will explain you the specific of creating the program. And tell you about promo materials, what they consist of. And the main thing which I want to tell you about is genres of the program, how they work. At the end of the presentation, we will look on the current season, which consists of the almost of the all genres we have. Not all, but almost. And we can speak maybe, if we will have time, a bit about ratings and statistics. And after all, of course, after all the presentation, I will be happy to listen to your questions and, of course, suggestions if you will have them. And in my webinar, as you can understand through my own experience, our own experience, I will tell you the ways of promotion the classical music on the digital media platform. I hope that this experience can be useful for European colleagues, and I will be happy to share it with you. Before I will start and tell you about Aristocrats FM, I want to show you a little video to feel the mood and the style of the radio station. So I want to propose you. Okay. turn back to the presentation. And Aristocrats FM. It is a Ukrainian independent digital media company with 3 online audio streams, token music, contemporary music and jazz, video streams and online magazine. As you can see, it is a multiple platform. One of its main advantages is geography. What do I mean? You can listen broadcasts all over the world because it has digital broadcasting to the internet. Aristocrats FM is focused on all genres of the music and eras, supporting indie, classical music, jazz musicians, culture, science, and education. The platform is aiming to provide smart content for a new growing generation of globalized Ukrainians. And we are very proud that Aristocrats FM named 7th world best online radio stations in the 2015 by the version of Mixcloud. I hope you know this source. It's very popular. Authors of the radio station are well-known journalists, music lovers, and comedians from Ukraine. They host shows about music of various directions: politics, business, philosophy, art, science, cultural events around the world. These can be humorous, satirical, serious, and very serious shows. And you can see 4 people, founders and creators of this platform. On the left photo, from left to right, you can see Oleg Pakhodenko, Chief of Technical Office, Digital and Tech. Famous journalists and producers, Valeria Chechibaya, General Producer, Yaroslav Ladygin, Creative and Strategy, and Danila Khomutovsky, Sales and Marketing. On the right side of the photo, you can see Danila, Valeria, Yaroslav, and Oleg. Just 1 second. Aristocrats FM was created, as you can see, by these smart, very talented and intelligent, charismatic people in February 2014. It was a very difficult time for Ukraine, but they made it. And now it is one of the leading and trend digital media platforms in our country. Before I will start to tell you about the program Classics on Aristocrats, I have greetings from one of the founders, Yaroslav Ladygin. As I told you previously, famous journalist, presenter, producer, and now also famous film director. So let us join Yaroslav's speech and then we will turn back.
Hello, my name is Yaroslav Ladygin. I'm glad to be part of this presentation for your webinar and to tell you more about Aristocrats.fm. I'm one of the creators of the radio station, and I was honored to be the first presenter of the classics on Aristocrats. And from the very first day, and we started in the very tense days of Ukrainian revolution and the beginning of the war here in Ukraine. So we started this radio station on those times, and from the very first day we decided to have here online everything that we missed in radio broadcasting here in Ukraine. And one of the major parts was the classics. because we really miss classics airing somewhere here in Ukraine. So we established this program from the very first days of the radio station, and in collaboration with the Institute of Clear, we were trying to present this old, ancient art in the modern way to the modern, young, smart audience here in Ukraine. And since then, 4 years we spent promoting music. Now we have classical concerts here in Kiev every day in different venues. And I really think that that's the part of this success is this role we played here with the contributing to classical music here in Kiev with Aristocrats.fm and Institute of Music of Glier.
I can see you wrote, I don't understand what happened, that the white screen was on the video. I'm sorry. Do you hear me well? Now you hear me, or you hear me with echo? Okay. I'm sorry, I don't understand how to close this window on the video. How can it work? Because my presentation consists of a lot of videos, and if it will be like that, it will be not helpful. But the problem is with the videos. Maybe I did something wrong. And you don't see the white screen, or everyone sees, because it's not good if you see the white screen. Okay, let's go. We will try. We will try to cancel this in the next videos. As Yaroslav Ladygin told in his speech, he was also the first presenter of the program Classics on Aristocrats, which previously called Evenings of Classical Music. I remember the first time I met founders of Aristocrats FM in April 2014, and special thanks for this to my friend, famous Ukrainian singer and also presenter of the author show Club of Noble Singers, which, by the way, also supports in some programs the classical music, to Mariana Golovko. So thanks for her for this meeting, and I met guys in their first studio. I was absolutely impressed by what they were doing, and they suggested me to work with them on the project of classical music. I have a special education. I finished National Music Academy of Ukraine as a musicologist, but on that time I worked in the media sphere. I worked in advertising area on television, which is very helpful for me today, but I decided to join also the amazing team of Aristocrats FM and turn back to the origins of my specialty. And you can see where I work for the moment. It's Horowitz Competition and Clear Institute as well. So I'm in my place. I can feel it and be happy. So we started to do scripts. In first season, I started to do scripts and suggestions for Yaroslav, and then we started to host sometimes together. It was fantastic and unforgettable experience for me, and what was one of the most successful things that made Yaroslav being the leader of opinions, especially between young people who did not listen to the classical music too much or not at all. Sometimes he expanded the scope and attracted a new audience. He made very modern and interesting interpretations of scripts and inspired me as an editor as well for interesting and creating scripts. And now I want to present you the program Classics on Aristocrats, as I told previously, Evenings of Classical Music, which broadcasts since April 2014. From the first month, as you can see, of the foundation of the Aristocrats FM. It is in its first season, the show broadcasted live from Monday till Friday. It was almost all the day except weekends, in the evening prime time. And in the last season, the show broadcasted every Friday from 8 till 10 p.m. And now we have a special season which with special broadcasts which are not only on Fridays. I will tell you about it a little later. For the moment, we can be proud to have 7 seasons. It's 7 for the moment. Over 100 podcasts in different genres, and of course, our studio's more than 110 years old piano Blüthner, which was kindly given to the Aristocrats FM by the Ringold Glier Kyiv Institute of Music. The story of this instrument I will also tell you a little later, but we received the instrument thanks to the idea to the person. You can see him on the slide. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the big honor to introduce you Mr. Yuri Zilberman, Professor, Vice Rector of the Glier Institute of Music, PhD, President of the International Charitable Fund of Vladimir Horowitz competition, and General Director of this competition. Mr. Zilberman supported and personally hosted the program since its first season, and working together for me, it is unbelievable and experience and the great honor. So to feel the atmosphere of our program, now I suggest you to look promo video which was filmed by my friend, the professional and very talented Ukrainian film director, Yana Antonets. But I'm again a bit afraid of this little white window, so I hope it will not come. If something wrong, please let me know.
Do you remember falling in love? The thrill of every new discovery, the passionate pursuit of every new detail that would bring you closer to understanding the object of your affection. When was the last time you felt that way? Introducing Evenings of Classical Music with Yuri Zilberman and Ivanka Karabits. Every Friday at 8 p.m. we invite you to fall in love again with a new world of music, guided by the best experts. Come along and feel the thrill of discovery as we bring you on a musical journey to discover outstanding musicians, composers, musicologists and critics, live concerts, radio lectures. Concerts, radio lectures and master classes, classical masterpieces and new music, world premieres. And of course, the iconic live sound of our studio's 110-year-old piano Blüthner, which many legendary musicians have gathered around, played and talked about. Evenings of Classical Music, every Friday at 8 p.m. Love that never ends.
I'm very sorry. Maybe I did wrong. Can I try just again to?
Do you remember falling in love? The thrill of every new discovery.
No, I can see that there is there. I can see again the white window. I don't know. I'm very sorry, and I'm afraid that how can I build the presentation, because it's a lot of videos, and maybe somebody can give me a suggestion how to cancel it. Somebody from previous presentations. Just a minute. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Then. Okay, I suggest you to, if yes, I will continue, of course, with the presentation, and let us do like that. After the presentation, I will send you all these videos links, and you can, of course, with the presentation, and you can watch it. Okay, thank you, because it's the main thing I wanted to show you, because it's media. So. Turn back. As you've seen, the program broadcasted in different genres, and now we can count interviews, radio lectures, news and announcements, live concerts, and radio masterclasses. But before I will tell you how they work, let us remember that everything begins from promo and good announce. So you can see on this slide, I classified promo materials that we use on 4 types. The most simple way, you will know it, who use social medias to make posts, especially for Facebook, is to fill in the post the link, or active link on the event, or just a photo, or just a link on website, whatever. So you can always use it, but sometimes it's not enough. So I want to tell you first about static banner. Or you can call it poster, for example. You can see the posters on my slide, and it can be 1-2 days before the broadcast on the website of the Aristocrats FM, first of all, and then it is posted in social media, Facebook, Twitter. And also 1-2 days before the program will broadcast. You can see on the slide different visuals. You can see the stylized banner. For example, this banner with famous pianist and professor Olga Orlova is made in sepia, like you see, using old photo. It shows us the time where the person lived. Or just a simple way to make banner when you use just a photo. It can be photo with hero of the program, logo of the festival, for example, or event, a visual with which creates the association and the view and shows the mood of topic of the future of the future program. So of course you can use some, and you can see the very funny banner. I love it very much. So of course you can use some fun, special before the festive broadcasts. It's working very good. So just use your imagination. And now I want to tell you that now with Radio Aristocrats works Before that, I want to remind you that the photos you use must receive from the personal or archives or of your of your guest or your archives of your program. So now with the radio, Aristocrats work very talented photographer. We call her photo artist Alexandra Zheleznova. And thanks to Sasha, in our archives, we have different kind of photos we can use. For example, we have radio concert, but sometimes we do not have the possibility to make a photo of all participants. So we use the elements of the piano or other instrument from our archives. So you can prepare the bass with the photographs and use it in the future. So use your imagination, as I told. But remember that the quality. Remember as well that the quality of the visuals that you use must be in high resolution. I have just a minute. I want to show you another video with another type of banner, which I call animated. I call it animated banner. This is similar principle with the static, but you can animate it or do it like a GIF. It depends on your technical capabilities. So here you can also use the imagination. Let us look for the example, and I again hope that it will work without the window. Anyway, I promised to send you all the materials afterwards.
Do you remember falling in love? The thrill of every new discovery, the passionate pursuit of every new detail that would bring you closer to understanding the object of your affection. When was the last time you felt that way? Introducing Evenings of Classical Music with...
I'm sorry, it was again... this is the right video. No. Okay, let us do like that. I will not disturb you with the technical because maybe I did something wrong. I'm sorry. I will finish the presentation and afterwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I will send you all the videos. So, let us finish with promo materials. So the last one material I want to tell you about. It is video promo. It is not easy to make all the time videos because you need to organize shooting, to prepare the idea and the scripts, and your heroes need to be available. Of course, you can use the video speech recorded on the phone, but it is not a good choice for media. You need to remember this. So if you decide to do your own media, you need to have in your team a professional camera to do photos and videos, and the person who can create this product. Sometimes you can, of course, be in the situation that you have only telephone or something, just camera, small camera, whatever. But if you shoot on it, you must do, then you need to understand that you must do montage and to understand how to do it. I had an example when I made such a shooting on my telephone because I was on the concert and the next day was repeated. This concert was repeated on the radio concert on the Radio Aristocrats. And I shot short pieces short pieces of the video, and then it was a huge work because we need to cut the sound to prepare all the materials to look like a professional video. So remember that it's a big work, and the main thing you need to remember, or one of the main things, that mostly your videos must be not longer than 1 minute. So you need to think very good before you create the video, how to show all the needed mood or on your broadcasts in 1 minute. If you shoot a live invitation, for example, your hero think about the you need to think about entourage, about script, about all the preparation, and to be prepared very well. Just a minute. I see. Maybe we can have some videos again. So if we can to watch for the moment, I want to show you the promo video, which was shot by Alexandra Zheleznova. Maybe, how do I need to do it? Maybe Nikas will help me with this. Okay. Yes. Great. Like that. So you will have all the links now, as I understood, for the videos. So you can watch in that video with promo video. There was I wanted to say with few words that it was shot in our studio with our guests, Ukrainian musicians Artem Poludeny cello and Roman Lopotinsky piano. They perform in the video the fragment of Rachmaninoff's famous Vocalise, and it's a well-known music which also can give you success for your video if you choose the music material. Here you need to remember that the sound must be recorded separately to have a good quality. And to be in a good quality, and the video that we will see, you will see after my presentation or now, it was shot in one frame without montage, which makes it possible to feel it in one breath. So please join it, and we go to the next slide. Which is very important as well. Yes. Just a second. I'm sorry, some technical. So you can see the slide with SMM strategy. What is SMM? You know that it's social media marketing, and we all use it to promote events or media. And how we do and you, of course, you need to prepare it very well before your broadcast or event to think about it, so make the strategy. So we make the post 1-2 days before the broadcast. Then just before the broadcast, we make the photo with guest or entourage of the program, whatever, and we put it just before in Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. We put it just before the broadcast. And of course, during the broadcast, we have main live video stream in Facebook, and people can you can be interactive during this broadcast. So you people can ask you questions, you can even answer them, and you can even do some little. You can ask questions, and people can interactively answer you. So it can make also a good mood for the program, but it depends on the scenery. And of course, at the same time, we make live streams and stories in Instagram, which is not living very long, as you know, if you use Instagram, but it's very helpful. It can be you can make the stream of the backstage, and very good example that we made, and you can use it. You can invite your friends, famous friends or presenters of other programs, and they can also do the streams in their social media, which makes your auditory more big. And it's a very good thing. So they can share the and show where are they and tell the story about what's happening in your studio. And especially it's interesting for people the backstage. And of course we have post promo. It's almost always a photo gallery with beautiful photos of Sasha Zhelezova, and podcast of the video. So people who missed your live video stream or your stream, they can find the podcast and listen to it later. So the next thing I want to tell you, and now we came to our genres, and one of the most interesting and basic genres we all know, and at the same time it can be very flexible and be presented inside different genres, other genres. You will see from the following slides, it's radio interviews. It can be short, it can be long, but remember that you need to know about your guest a lot of information. And as for me, sometimes people do or critical interviews or in different moods. In my own experience, I have qualification like musical critic, but I like to do it in a positive way. We know that musicians are sometimes very sensitive people, and I love to see them when we finish the program, they smile and they are inspired, and it is this media, I think it's this kind of media and interviews are very good for them and open them like personalities. So this is my own way, but I think it's the best way. And of course, it can be discussions on difficult topics or something, but the main interviews are like that. And one of the important things with Radio Aristocrats that we have a smart audience, and we can do our interviews with foreign guests in English, and we don't do translation because the smart audience need to know English. And which makes the geographic is more big as well. You can see our examples of promo materials and visual banners, static banners as well on this slide. And famous guests, some of famous guests who visited our studio and the program. The next genre it's news and announcements. It was not always in the program. When we broadcasted every Friday, I decided that the program is not full without news. And I was trying to announce brightest classical music concerts and events during the weekend and working week in Kyiv. And sometimes in the big cities. Of course, news do not need to be long, and for me, it was always very helpful, except the internet and Facebook, just to go to the hall of the Glier Institute or of Music or National Music Academy, for example, of Ukraine, and to search the information in the hall, where is always a lot of posters with the events, and not all of them can find in social media, for example. So you can find some interesting information there. Sometimes my friends ask me, Ivanka, what we can visit this weekend or something. I told them you can even go and or listen to my news or go and search for you just even posters. It's not only in Facebook. You can find the information. Or go to the sites of most acoustic halls for example, in Kiev, and find something you want to visit. So join the sites and the events which are presented there. And even inside this such a short genre like news, sometimes you can do interesting things. For example, you can invite the participant of the concert you want to announce and suggest him or her to perform a little piece or fragment of something from his or her performance, if it is possible. And to invite himself to visit the event, and of course here you can apply some small interview, but remember about the duration. It's don't need to be very long. In this case, news can be a little bit longer, but not very long. I remember like one day in my program came a young pianist. She performs. She performed the Greek concerto next day, and we were with the orchestra, and we decided we were thinking what to do, what she need to perform from this concert, and she just played a piece of cadenza. So it was a good decision and very, very sweet. One thing I forgot to tell you before I started the presentation, you can ask me all your questions, and the suggestion after I will finish. The thing that we don't have videos and you can open it yourself afterwards, I will follow the slides and tell you the next things I wanted to share with you. Radio lectures. So this is one of the most difficult genres, which carries the educational sense. Of course, if you have possibility, you can prepare the lecture yourself. But if you do not have this experience, you can invite experts, musicologists, and sometimes the lecture can be, of course, made by the one person, or it can be like lecture plus dialogue or interview or discussion, and the second person who is not doing the lecture, who is just like interviewer, he can follow the time, because the duration can be, we made lections for 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. It can be 1 hour, but you need to follow, because this is media. This is not the open the open meeting, and other shows are coming. So you need to watch and to follow the time. So this is very difficult genre. You can speak. It can be made special presentation for that, but we need to go on. And before the next genres and formats which I want to share with you, you will understand why I want to say and to tell you the story about the cooperation with of the program Classics and Aristocrats and our program and the radio with the Glier Kyiv Institute of Music. Yaroslav Ladygin told as well in his speech, and I will tell you a bit more about it now. So before I present the next genres. We were always dreaming about the concerts, but it was impossible to make it when we were in the small studio. And first 2 seasons, we were just dreaming about it. And of course, experience was not, of course, first experience in the, but we have the experience of concert, but not live concert. We made our dream a little bit came true, and you can see the banner on the slide with the words world premiere. It was the premiere of the symphony of junior symphony of Sergei Prokofiev that we wrote that he wrote when he was 13 years old. And he lived in Solntsevka, now it's the village Krasnaya in Donetsk area, where he was born and lived the first part of his life when he was young. He wrote this symphony under direction of his teacher Reingold Glier, and it was devoted to Glier. So you can see the tribute, Sergei Prokofiev tribute to Glier. So the premiere was performed under conduction of world-famous Ukrainian conductor Kirill Karabits and students, orchestra of Glier Institute of Music. Kirill found this symphony in archives and was born the idea to make the world premiere with the students of the Glier Institute. And it was very symbolic because young people made this performance, and Prokofiev was young when he wrote this piece, so it was very beautiful. And after the concert, in few days, there was the world premiere of the symphony on the radio Aristocrats. It was recorded, and then was the world premiere for people who didn't visit the concert. In the concert was also performed works of Reingold Glier's students, Ukrainian classics Levko Revutsky, Boris Letushinsky, and his student Ivanka Karabits. So it was very interesting concert, and we prepared all the program. We built all the program on this concert. But turning back to the live concerts, as I told, the dream began to come true. In previous year, when the office of Aristocrats FM moved to the new spacious building, that has brought new opportunities, especially for these live concerts. Now the studio is situated in the center of Kyiv and featured new facilities for live music with the 110 years old piano Blüthner, about which I started to tell you in one of the previous slides. And now the story. This piano belonged to the famous pianist and teacher of Glier Institute of Music in those years Music College. By the way, this January, the Institute of Music will have 150 years old of its foundation. There will be a lot of celebrations and concerts. In that time, it's called Musical College, and the name of this professor is Lydia Shur, and it was presented by her family to the institute, and the institute gave it for usage to the Radio Aristocrats. And it's a great honor for us to keep the instrument with such an amazing history, which legendary musicians were played on this instrument, and it has a great sound. sometimes we speak, we can speak about the story of the instrument, and remember that this that instrument has a lot of lives, and he has a lot. He's seen a lot of famous people, and now it lives in the Aristocrats FM. And the story, it's a new story, I think, of this instrument. And we start to make special broadcasts, and I'm sorry, it's something. Okay, and we made a special broadcast. We called first broadcast. First broadcast named like Ode for the Piano, or the Ode, and we spoke about the history and the history of Lydia Schur, and there were and the next broadcast was the concert of students of the the winners of the competition in memory of Lydia Schur. And that month, it was the most highest rating of the program. It was November, 1 year ago, and I'm sorry, not one. 1 year ago. I'm a bit okay. So I don't remember for sure, but it was one of the big ratings. So it was very good, and so we started to broadcast live on this piano. The great opportunities we have, and then we started to do the concerts. The next story I want to tell, almost from the first days that radio received the piano, we start to there was an idea to make the special prize for Horowitz piano competition, which was in 3 groups at the same time in April, at end of the April previous year and the beginning of May. And it was special prize for prize winners from Radio Aristocrats, the radio broadcast on this piano. And this slide and this and now I want to tell you about the cooperation and support from radio station to Horowitz piano competition, which is we have for the moment. And I have a beautiful video, which I'm sorry I made the montage myself, but I wanted to show you the mood and to show that all the groups of Horowitz competition visited the radio, the winners, and they made live broadcasts. It was the prize for them. But not only this was from the Aristocrats FM as a support. It was announcements and guests in the morning show during the competition, special broadcasts of Aristocrats FM, of course, during the competition and in preparatory period. The brand voice of Yaroslav Ladygin, you can hear it in the video promo of the competition. You can watch it, and it was on YouTube. The presentation of this promo was on the YouTube channel of the Aristocrats FM. So you can about the links. I will tell you. Maybe I will send you then the links for the number of each video. And the number of slides where you can watch it for the slides, so it can be a full story for you when we finish. And placement, yeah, as I told, placement of TV promo on YouTube of Aristocrats FM. By the way, shot by Jan Anders, I told you before, our film director, and. The very big support was the previous year. Horowitz competition had difficult financial times, and special platform was created on the website of Aristocrats FM, where people can make a donation to support the competition. So as we arrived to the area of radio concerts, you can see it can be a live concert, concerts of prize winners, and open concerts. Before I will tell you what do I mean about open concerts, I want to say that just 1 week ago, you will see it in the following slides. Just a week ago, we made a broadcast with chamber orchestra inside the studio. It was the first experience. It was the first experience for us. It was very important, but it was our dream as well. It was a National Chamber Orchestra Kyiv soloists, and I will tell you in the following slide about this broadcast as well. So during other open concerts, it was not only with the piano. It was harpsichord, it was viola da gamba concerts, cello concerts, small ensembles. You can find all the programs in the broadcasts on the site of Aristocrats FM, but there was live music, and it was not only on the piano, but the piano is the main thing. It's very helpful to build the radio concert. Open concerts, it's very interesting experience we started to do in previous season, but it's not easy to do it because you need to, as a presenter or creator, you need to remember about two planes. You have the general broadcast, audio and video, and you need to be focused on your auditory when you broadcast. Even if you do just live broadcast on your Facebook, you need to remember that people listen to you, and at the same time you have the audience inside the studio. It's not a lot of people can visit the studio, but the studio also, if you decide to do it, you need to remember about acoustic. It must be acoustic to have people, guests inside. You can see, no, maybe in these photos, no, but if you watch the video and other photos in the presentation, you can see the carpet on the floor. It makes better acoustic in our studio. And of course, you can see the small posters on the chairs. We put it in its original photo we prepared with Sasha and the participants before the concert. And that video promo, which is an example of video promo, it's to this concert as well, which you can see on the photo now. Of course, very good and one of the main things inside of the studio for people, it's entourage. You need to remember about the picture which you broadcast and the picture inside the studio. And this picture with the drink, it was interesting idea of Lera Chichibaya to prepare the punch. As you remember, Mozart loved punch, and it can be some small association with this, but people drink some punch and eat fruits and things before the concert. So they are your guests, like they are coming in your house, and you need to remember. But this is the concert. And we did not take money for this concert. We just suggested a gentle donate. If people want to, they can donate on our website. And the next genre I want to tell you about, which carried the main idea, the education and entertainment. And we decided to create this genre thanks to Glier Institute and one of the projects of it, Summer Music Academy. This project, during this project, a lot of famous professors come to work with students through over the world. And we were thinking maybe it was first we wanted to make a promo of it, and then we were thinking why we cannot do the masterclass just online. It can be interesting, but first we wanted to test if it will be interesting for more audience than only professionals. And it was again one of the biggest ratings. You can see the small pictures of it's Professor Yuri Kot, famous pianist. He's working online in the masterclass with students of Glier Institute, and the rating was one of the highest maybe during the history of our broadcast. But another thing you can do, not only more in social medias, if you work with, for example, with educational institutions, if you do media with them, you all have in your cities educational institutions, and you can do the same thing and do concerts and these kinds of educational things. But we send it just direct letters to other educational institutions before that first broadcast of masterclass. We sent it by emails and we made calls, and it was big present for students in not only in Kiev and not only in Ukraine. So it's a great experience, and you can see other photos with masterclass of famous violinists and virtuosos, Nikita Borisoglebsky and Valery Sokolov. It was the masterclass just after the masterclass in Glier Institute. So we broadcasted in Aristocrats FM, and people who cannot join us in the Glier Institute can watch it on the Aristocrats FM platform. But you need to remember again about the duration. Not more than, I think, 1 hour, because the other auditory you cannot understand what's and they can close the broadcast because it will be difficult to understand the specific, the terminology and other things. And you, if you present the radio masterclass, you need to remember you don't need to speak too much. You just present a person, and then it goes to the area of the educational process, and it's very interesting to watch it. So as I see, our time is running, and at the end of my presentation, you can see the season 7 of special broadcasts. Why special? We can broadcast not only on Fridays. We sometimes did it in other days, and it's almost all genres. So you can see masterclass. We started from it. Then it was interview. It was even without video stream, but it was very good. It had the very good rating in Mixcloud. It was more than 200 listeners listened to this interview with famous cello player Denis Severin, and he made masterclasses as well in our institute. So there we recorded the interview. The other concert was live piano concert, and I love very much to invite. We have a lot of dynasties and families in music, Kiev Music Live, and there is you can see on the photo where it's written concert, piano concert. You can see the family of famous pianist, Ukrainian, and Professor Igor Ryabov, and that evening we made piano concert in memoriam of him, and it's his grandson and his son on the photo, and we invited a lot of his class, a lot of his students through over the world. They came in Kiev to visit the festival, and it was not only the concert, it was like a big announcement of this festival as well. So we made, and the entourage was very beautiful that evening, and we had a good rating as well. So it was very beautiful evening. So it was piano radio concert, which consists of different genres as well. And the next broadcast we made with chamber orchestra, Kyiv soloists. You can see it just 1 week ago, and with famous guests, Valery Sokolov, violinist, our guest and friend of our radio station, and one of the main famous cellists of present time, Mr. Harry Hoffman. He visited Ukraine with the concert, and he visited our studio as well, and he performed in our studio live as well. So I'm very proud of this broadcast as well. And it was, if we count the reach of auditory and people who watched video on Facebook live streams, it was more than 6,400 people who watched this video live. And after that, so you can see the viewers on your Facebook page, and the reach of auditory was more than 15,000, something like that. In this video, we made some commercial in Facebook, but it gave us maybe 2,000 more or a bit more listeners. But original program made a big rating. Sometimes it can be 2,000, but I think it was 4,000. So I want to thank you a bit later than I planned. I want to thank you for listening to my broadcast, to my presentation, and I want to thank again to Alexandra Zheleznova for promo materials and photos. She helped me very much with this, and the design of this presentation helped me Yana Antonets, and for her promo videos as well. And the backgrounds on the presentation of a very talented photographer, Dmitry Moshnin. Thanks to him very much. So now I can, I will send you, of course, the links to my presentation and videos, and you can repeat the story with the full things I wanted to show you. And now I want to listen to your questions and suggestions. Thank you as well. I want to share with you a thing before I will finish and listen to your questions. Now we are working on the new format. I can't tell you all the things. We didn't prepare it yet, but it was the interesting decision to make. It will consist of history and culture of classical music and urban style of Kyiv and ancient places of Kyiv. It will be very interesting. We are working on it now, and please join us on Aristocrats FM and don't miss the premiere. It will be as video, as audio, and a good, beautiful promo, I promise you. Thank you. Yes, it was my story, but and I'm sorry I was a bit confused because videos, if you watch it yourself, you will understand what every format means and what I wanted with my explanations to share with you. So you can use these instruments in your area and sphere. And if you want, you can write me email or contact me with other questions. I'm happy. I will be happy to answer on it. And please join and listen to our broadcast. It's just the beginning of the story, I hope, and we will we will make more interesting things for you. And all these things are working to make that we all are working for and dreaming for, to make our auditory and listeners of classical music more big. Yes, I will write you email just right now. Yes. And you can ask me all questions you want. It was nice to hear you and to see you on this webinar. Have other? Yes. The presentation. Yes, I will send you to all the slides of my presentation, and I will write to each slide the number where you need to listen to the video. And I want to announce before I finish that the next week will be held another webinar, Professional Careers, Cooperation and Networking Musicians of the World. The name is Branding and Professional Career is in Music, Examples of Career Journeys by Sanda Vujkovic, Unisian. It will be held on 6th of December 2017, so please join it. Thank you very much as well, and see you. Keep in touch.